Okay, so today we're supposed to look into exercise 2.3 and 2.4. Okay, I don't know if you have already watched the videos or not. Okay, but then if you haven't, don't worry, because this exercise 2.3 and 2.4 is mainly about um, formula. Okay, and then the formulas are given in your test, so you don't have to memorize the formula. Okay, the formulas of uh, 2.3 is about, let me see first. Okay, 2.3 is about arc length and curvature. Okay, in which you will learn about unit tangent, unit normal, and binomial vectors. Okay, the T and B. And then you will learn about curvature, arc length, and radius of curvature. Okay, and everything has its own formulas. Okay, and you don't have to remember. Again, you don't have to remember. All right, let's look into. So this part masuk dalam your test. It will be included in your test. This 2.3. All right. First, the unit tangent vector. Find the unit tangent vector T at general point and uh, at the given point. So at general point, when the question asks about general point itu maksudnya pada T lah. So you don't have to substitute any value. Okay. If given point, then it must be T equals to whatever it is. Okay. Refer to questions. Okay. So let's look at 1A. Kita ada R equals to 1 minus T squared I plus TJ. And then the T equals to 1 kan. So inilah given point tu maksud dia. Okay, but before you substitute the T equals to 1, you have to find it in terms of T first. Okay. So formula untuk tangent ni, unit tangent, R prime T over modulus R prime T. Or the magnitude of R prime T. Okay, so this one is modulus. Modulus maksudnya sentiasa positif. Always positive. But then this one is what we call magnitude. Okay, so magnitude ni lain lagi, dia ada formula dia, which is square and then square root. Okay, so dia ada formula. Alright, so just use the formulas here. First of all, we have to find R prime. So R prime ni maksudnya kita bezakan R kita tadi kan. Okay, so untuk 2.3, 2.4 ni pembezaan dan juga kamiran. Okay, the differentiation and integration is very important. Okay. So nak bezakan, mesti bezakan by terms. First, you ada 1 tolak T kuasa 2. Beza 1 dapat kosong. Beza T kuasa 2 dapat 2T kan, tapi ada negatif. So, negatif 2T. This is untuk I. Untuk I dahulu. And then you solve for J. J ada T saja. Bezakan T dapatlah 1. I dengan J tu jangan bezakan because this is vector. Tulis je balik. Okay. The vector form maksudnya. Okay. Bukan I, J tu kita bezakan. Kita nak bezakan T saja. Okay. Then you have negative 2Ti plus J. And then you carilah R prime magnitude R prime ni, which is negative 2T squared plus 1 squared square root. Okay, the terms of X, this is X. And then the term of Y ni ada 1 sebenarnya. Okay, square kan, and then square root. Which is you will find 4T squared plus 1 square root. Then you can find the answer, which is T equals to negative 2Ti plus J over square root 4T squared plus 1. So this is at general point. Okay, so maksudnya dalam bentuk T lagi. Okay, but then at T equals to 1, okay, maksudnya T1 ni, the unit tangent of 1 will be, masukkanlah saja nilai 1, which is negative 2I plus J, 4 darab 1, 1 kuasa 2, 1 darab 4, 4 tambah 1, 5. Okay. Atau boleh buat dalam bentuk bracket, which is negative 2 over square root 5 for I and 1 over square root 5 for J. Means the square root 5 ni is for both. Bila pisahkan dia akan dapat negative 2I per square root 5 tambah J per square root 5. Okay, faham saya rasa ni tak ada masalah lah. It's very straight to the point punya answer. As long as you know how to use the formulas, so it will be no problem for you lah, insyaAllah. Okay, let's go into question number 2. Now we are going to find uh, unit tangent. Unit tangent is T, and then unit normal. Unit normal is N. Okay. Okay, I can write in terms of 3 cos Ti plus 4 sin Tj. Or I can write in terms of bracket, which is it will be 3 cos T and 4 sin T. Okay. Please be noted that when you write in terms of bracket, you tak ada buat IJ tu dah dan tak ada buat tambah tolak ke apa semua tak ada. Tapi you pisahkan dia dalam bentuk koma. Okay, you separate each terms in terms of the commas. Okay, so the question asks us to find unit tangent. Again, unit tangent is T, which is R prime over magnitude R prime. So, which is the R prime is deficient cos, will get negative sign. Negative 3 sin T, deficient sign will be cos 4 cos T. Okay, so the magnitude will be negative 3 sin T squared plus 4 cos T squared. Okay, and then these terms, whenever you find it in terms of sine squared plus cos squared, you can use this cos squared x plus sine squared x equals to 1. Okay, and as I mentioned before this x can be any variable lah, as long as it is the same. Kalau cos squared t plus sin squared t pun akan jadi 1 juga. Okay, ni saya dah bagi tahu kan. Okay, kalau cos squared 2t tambah sin squared 2t juga, 2t pun sama dengan 1. Faham eh? So dia tak semestinya t saja atau x sajalah, as long as both terms are similar, the same. Okay. Okay, so we simplify the denominator. Kita akan dapat, okay, sebenarnya tak perlu simplify pun tak apa, tapi lagi senang kadang-kadang bila kita nak sebab lepas ni kita nak bezakan T ni pula untuk N. Okay, so when you do the simplification, it will be easier for you lah. Okay, so negatif 3 kuasa 2 dapat 9. Boleh ke? Tak boleh, sebab satu ni adalah 9 sin kuasa 2T tambah 16 cos kuasa 2T. Okay, so kita boleh nak simplify lah. 9 dengan 16 ni tak boleh nak faktorkan. Okay, tak apa. Saya buat 2A ke ni? Mana boleh tersilap ni? Okay, silap Orang pun tak tegur saya. Jadi sepatutnya 3 kan? 3 cos T, 3 sin T, betul tak? 3 cos T, 3 sin T, and then dia bagi T equals to 5/6. Betul kan?
Betul.
Okay, so salah lah kat sini. Saya patut beza 3. And then sini pun 3. Okay, so kebetulan 3 kita boleh faktorkan. Okay, ingat kalau dia tak sama, you tak boleh faktorkan. So, you tak boleh buat apa-apa kat situ dah. So, you kena beza memang panjang nanti. So, this one is 9 sin squared T plus 9 cos squared T. So, this is also 3. So, actually, it will be because sin squared plus cos squared will be equals to 1. So, ada 9 saja. 9 pecah kuasa dapatlah 3. Okay, why is this? Saya baca banyak potong. So actually you bawa keluar 9 sin kuasa 2T tambah cos kuasa 2T, which is dia akan jadi 9 darab 1. So square root 9 sama dengan 3. Itu jalan kerja untuk yang ini Alright. And then you already got your T. Tinggal lagi nak cari t pi over 6, which is negative 3 sin pi over 6. Yang ini tekan calculator sajalah. Tak ada masalah, dan just use your calculator. Okay, so actually this 3 can be cut out kan? Lagi senang. You cut out saja. So ini tak payah negative 3 dah. Ini pun tak payah negative 3. What's left is what? Only negative. And then cos will be positive. Okay, sebab semua 3. Okay, kalau semua term sama, 3, 3, 3, then you boleh cut out 4, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2. Tapi kalau yang ini 3, tiba-tiba kat sini 4. Tak boleh You cannot do anything if there's a different terms. Salah satu pun tak boleh dah. Dia mesti semua sama. Okay, I hope you understand apa yang saya cakap ni, sebab saya akan cakap okay. Sambil-sambil saya buat tu saya cakap. Alright, so let us calculate for the negative sign, sin pi over 6 is 0.5, so you have negative 1 over 2 or negative 0.5. Then cos pi over 6 is square root 3 over 2. Okay, square root 3 over 2. Okay, now let us find the n. The n is unit normal vector. Unit normal, which is the nt, is actually t prime divided by magnitude t prime. Now we want to differentiate the t. Okay, nak differentiate t, ambil t mana? T yang atas ni ke? T ni ataupun t pi over 6? Okay, you have to take the t with variable t, not the t pi over 6 sebab kalau ambil t pi over 6 kan dia dah jadi constant. Okay, so if you differentiate constant, it will be 0. So takkanlah kosong-kosong kan? Okay, so actually you have to differentiate the one that has not been substituted any value yet, which is yang atas ni lah. So atas tu tinggal lagi negative sign saja, and beza sign dapat cos, tapi ada negative, so negative cos t. Beza cos negative sign t. Over, so bawah ni magnitude dia adalah negative cos t squared plus negative sin t squared. So, which is, again, bawah ni akan jadi 1 kan, sama dengan 1. So what's left is negative cos t and negative sin t. So the n pi over 6 will be negative cos pi over 6 and negative sin pi over 6, which is sama juga lah macam tadi tu. Kalau cos is square root 3 over 2, square root 3 over 2, and then sin is 1 over 2, negative 1 over 2. So basically, it's very easy 2.3, okay, because you only have to follow the formula. But then make sure okay, the formulas you follow are correct lah, the correct formula. Okay, sebab formula dia banyak sangat untuk 2.3 ni. Okay. Okay, let's look into question number 3. Number 3 is binomial vector. So binomial vector dia ada banyak formula. Ada 2 ke 3 formula untuk binomial. Okay. Actually nak guna formula mana-mana pun tak apa. Dia cuma ada panjang atau pendek. Jalan kerja jadi panjang atau jalan kerja jadi pendek. But then the answer, the last answer will be the same. Okay, question number 3a is 4 cos t plus 4 sin t plus t equals to pi over t. Alright. Okay, just to be sure everyone are still here, please write down your name and your student ID in the chat box to be recorded as your attendance for today. Okay. So I write down in terms of bracket. Find the binomial vector. Now the question asks you to find the binomial vector. So binomial vector B is equals to T cross N, or the R prime cross R double prime divided by magnitude R prime cross R double prime. Okay. And I will use the second formula for that one. Okay, so often students ask which formulas to use. So again, as I mentioned before, you may use any formulas, both. Okay, you may try both. However, one of it may be easier for you and the other would be harder for you. That's it. Okay. So let me try using the second formula, which is the R prime and R double prime. So I have to find R prime first. So basic cos dapat negative sign, basic sign dapat cos, and then basic T dapat 1. And then differentiate again the R prime to get the R double prime, which is negative cos T, negative sin T, and then differentiate one will be 0. And then you do the cross product. Okay, so the R prime is negative 4 sin T, 4 cos T, 1. Negative 4 cos T, negative 4 sin T, 0. Okay, for I it will be 0 minus minus plus 4 sin T, J, I. Minus for J it will be 0 minus minus will be plus 4 cos T, J. And then for K it will be 16 sin squared plus minus minus plus 16 cos squared T, K, which will be 16 only. So 4 sin T, I minus 4 cos Tj plus 16k. Okay, so you can already calculate for your binomial vector, which is 4 sin T. I write in terms of bracket right now. Negative 4 cos T and 16. Okay, divided by the magnitude of it, which is 4 sin T squared plus 4 cos T squared plus 16 squared square root. Okay. Okay, again, this one can be factorized. Okay, sebab 4 kuasa 2 dapat 16. 16 tambah 16 kuasa 2. So you'll get 272. So you're going to do 4 sin T negative 4 cos T 16 divided by 272 square root. Okay, so ini sebenarnya dapat 16. Okay, sebab cos sin squared plus cos squared is equals to 1. So 16 plus another 16 here, which is 16 kuasa 2 ni dapatlah 256. Okay, so it will be 272. Okay, and then there's a question asks you to substitute the value of t equals to pi over 2. So t equals to pi over 2. So binomial at pi over 2 will be sin pi over 2. Sin pi over 2 is 1, 4. Cos pi over 2 is 0. And then 16, 270. Okay, so this is your final answer. Or you may write down in terms of ijk, which will be 4272i, and then the j is 0, so you don't have to write j, and then k is 16 over 272. Okay, so I do one lah. Okay. Okay. Let's look into question number 4, which is the arc length. Find the length of each of the following arc. Okay, so arc length tu apa? Length tu katalah awak ada panjang macam ni kan. Ni length arc awak, lengkung awak. Kita nak kira panjang daripada sini ke sini. Kita tak kira ambil macam ni tau. This is the distance. Okay, but then we want to calculate this. Exactly the length of the arc. Okay, lengkung dia sekali. Sebab tu kita akan guna formula. So distance line formula dia. Okay. Okay, so let's see for A. R equals to 3 cos Ti plus 3 sin Tj. Alright. Okay, then from the point 30 to negative 30. Okay, the circle R 3 cos 3R plus 3 sin 3j from the point of 30 to the point negative 30. Okay, so there's a formula for outline as well. So the formula is integrate the R prime. Okay, the integration of magnitude R prime dt. Okay, there should be. Okay, let's say let us find the R prime first. So 3 negative sin t 3 cos t. So the magnitude of R prime will be negative 3 sin t squared plus 3 cos t squared. Okay, you can simplify this one because it has sine squared plus cos squared. So sine squared plus cos squared again is equals to 1. So factorize first, okay. There's a square, so square both sides first, square both terms first, and then factorize. Okay, you have 9 sine squared plus 9 cos squared t. Okay, then you can factorize. Okay, sometimes I just skip this part, okay, but actually it will be almost the same lah. So the integrand, this is what we call integrand. So the integrand is equals to 3. And equals to 3 dt. So now let me 3 dt, but then what is your limit? We want to determine the limit pula sekarang kan. Now, okay, this is for your x, this is for your y. This is also for your x, this is also for your y. Now the y doesn't change, and the value is from 0 to 0. Okay, we cannot see the exact value of t. This one, the limit must be in terms of t. Okay, it must be in terms of t and not x, not y. Okay, so, but then our x is equals to 3 cos t, and then our y is 3 sin t. Okay, we use the x equals to 3 and x equals to negative 3. When x equals to 3, then we will have cos t equals to 1, right? So t will be, use your calculator to find the arc cos of 1, which is 0. Okay, and then when x equals to negative 3, the cos t will be negative, negative, negative 1 lah. So t will be, use your calculator to find the arc cos negative 1, which will give you the value of 5. Okay, so the t is from 0 until 5. Okay, faham macam mana nak cari nilai t tu? Okay, you don't just simply take 3 and negative 3. No, you have to find the roots of t. Sekarang ni dia bukan cos ke sin ke, bukan. Dia mesti t. So t tu mestilah ambil sampai dapat nilai t. Maksudnya sekarang apabila t sama 0, x awak akan jadi sama dengan 3. Apabila t sama dengan 5, x awak akan jadi negatif 3. Okay, sebab tu y tu tak berubah. Sebab y kosong, sin kosong pun kosong, sin pi pun kosong. Okay, sebab tu kita tak boleh ambil y ni. Sebab y ni tak menunjukkan dia punya perubahan pada kita. Okay. Okay, so we solve the integration. We'll have negative, 3t. Sebab ini integrate, integrate bukan dapat 0. 3 tu kita integrate will get 3t. Okay, the t substitute from 0 until 5. So you get 3. 5 minus 0, which is 3 pi lah. So the length is 3 pi. Okay, that's how you solve for the arc length. Ada soalan lagi? Untuk arc length ni. Arc length is very important because students sometimes don't know how to find the value of t. Contoh macam B, 4B. 4B ni senang sebab kita dah nampak dah directly apa value untuk t tu. Sebab dia ada apa? R equals to 4 cos t, 4 sin t and t. So Z ni kan sama dengan t kan? Okay. The value of Z here, Z equals to t. So you just take the point for Z. as your limit. Okay, because the limit is refers to the value of t kan. So z dia tadi apa? 0, 4, pi over 2 to negative 4, 0, pi. So you'll have to find pi over 2 until pi. Okay, tinggal lagi cari kat tengah ni which is the r prime. So this one you try lah. Faham eh? You don't have to refer to 0 ke 4 ke negative 4, 0 tu. You just refer to negative pi until pi. Because z now is equals to t. Kalau z ni sama dengan 3t, macam mana? So, awak nak carikan 3t itu adalah 3t kan? 3t sama dengan pi per 2. So, t sama dengan pi per 6 lah kiranya. Bahagi dengan 3. Okay? So, make sure you find the value of the limit is equals to t. Ni saya cakap banyak kali ni ada lagi yang terlupanya. Okay, last question for 2.3 which is number 5. Find the curvature and radius of curvature. So curvature pun sama juga, ada formula dia sendiri which is t prime divided by r prime. Okay, magnitude t prime divided by magnitude r prime. So magnitude r prime plus r double prime divided by magnitude of r prime to the power of 3. Okay, and then the radius of curvature is 1 over curvature. This curvature, the K ni kita panggil kappa. Okay, dia adalah huruf Roman lah. Macam alpha, beta, so this K is kappa. Okay. This P is not P, it is rho. Rho equals to 1 over kappa. Okay, so what is curvature? Curvature is to calculate how curve is your curve. How curvier is your curve. Okay. So katalah you ada curve yang ini dan satu lagi curve awak yang ini. Ada dua curve ni. Curve yang dalam ni, this one, okay, nilai kappa dia akan lebih tinggi daripada yang ini. Nilai kappa dia akan rendah. Kenapa? Sebab obviously yang the blue one is more curvier. Okay, lagi lengkung awak tu lagi lengkung, lagi tinggi nilai kappa dia. Itu maksud the value of kappa. Okay, so let's just find the value of kappa for question number 1A. R equals to P squared I plus PJ. Okay, so depends lah, but since it has a few formulas, again you may use any formulas that is you find it easier to use. Okay, it's up to personal preferences lah, because there's no formulas is better from one another. Dia cuma kadang ni kalau katalah soalan tu dah bagi T, so better guna T prime sebab kita nak bezakan saja kan. Tapi kalau soalan tu tak bagi T, maybe you can use the R prime cross R double prime. But then if you don't know how to use the cross product, so better use the T prime again. Okay, so it's up to individual preferences. Okay, let's say I use the second one. The first one lah T prime. So R prime is equals to 2T and then T is equals to R prime which is 2T plus okay, and then the P prime is actually have to differentiate this one, which is tedious because the 2T 4T squared plus 1 ni I plus 1 per 4 t squared plus 1 j. Ini belum t squared lagi. Okay. This one you have to use what? Quotient rule. Kalau you nak bezakan. Sorry, betul lah. Kalau you nak bezakan. Sebab atas tu ada t, bawah tu ada t. Tengok try lah ni. Saya nak cuba the second formula pula. Tengok mungkin lagi senang. Okay. Try second formula. Okay, so yang tadi tu, this is using first formula. Okay, but then since it has to use quotient rule, saya kemalas nak guna, saya try second formula. Kita tengok lagi senang ke lagi susah. Okay, so the R prime is 2t1, the R double prime is 2, 0. So the cross of R and R double prime will be I, J, K, 2t1, 0, 2, 0, 0. The K is 0 lah. Bila tak ada K, maksudnya K tu adalah kosong. So 0 minus 2i minus 0 minus 0j plus 0, sorry, 0 minus 0i, and then 0 minus 0j, and then 0 minus 2j. So what's left is only negative 2k. Okay, so the R prime cross R double prime magnitude will be the formula using magnitude, right? The R prime R double prime magnitude will be negative 2 square root, which is 2. So kappa will be R prime cross R double prime magnitude, and then magnitude R prime to the power of 3, which is 2. And then R prime is 2t squared plus 1 square root to the power of 3. So dapatlah ni. 2, 4t kuasa 2 tambah 1 kuasa 3 per 2. So again, it seems easier to use this the second formula rather than the first one. Okay, and then there's a t equals to 1. So kappa when t equals to 1 will be t equals to 5 kuasa 3 per 2. Atau itulah. And then rho, okay, rho ni senang je. Kita balikkan je daripada jawapan kappa awal, which is 1 over kappa kan. So kita dapat 5, 3 per 2 per 2. Okay, so that's what I told you. Sometimes the first formula is easier than the second one. Okay, so you may try and error lah in that area. Okay, if there's no question, then we go to 2.4, which is our last topic in chapter 2. 2.4 is motion in space, velocity and acceleration. So for this one, again, you have to know how to use formula. Question beberapa soalan. Alright. Okay, velocity and acceleration. Let's see question number 1. Okay, so before anything, I would like to explain about velocity and acceleration. So you have R. You have the R kan. R is the position vector. Okay, biasa ni. Okay, and then if you differentiate R, so d over dt R, you akan dapat R prime. So R prime will be the velocity. Okay, and then if you differentiate again the R prime, d over dt R prime, you will get R double prime. So R double prime will be the acceleration. Okay, and vice versa, Kalau daripada sini ke sini pula, maksudnya you integrate. You integrate R double prime, dt you akan dapat R prime. You integrate from here to here, which is you integrate the R prime respect to dt, you get R. Okay, so that's the perkaitan, hubung kait di antara R, R prime and R double prime. So R prime ni sama juga dengan velocity. So velocity is equals to V. R double prime is acceleration. Acceleration is equals to A. Okay, so let's move into question number 1. Find the velocity, acceleration and speed. Speed tu apa? Speed tu adalah magnitude for velocity. Kita kira magnitude saja. So magnitude V. Okay, we have R equals to 2. R equals to 2 cos pi plus 2 sin pj. And then t equals to 5 over 4. 2 cos pi plus 2 sin pj. Okay. So to find the velocity, V is equals to R prime. So kita bezakan saja, kita dapat itu sin pi plus 2 cos pj. And then bezakan lagi sekali, kita akan dapat acceleration, which is negative 2 cos pi plus negative 2 sin pj. So tinggal lagi, you just substitute the formula. So V at the pi over 4 is actually negative 2 sin pi over 4, 2 cos pi over 4. Okay, so kadang-kadang saya guna dalam, saya tulis dalam bentuk vector, and then sometimes I use bracket to write down the vector. So it is again the same, sama ada saya guna bracket ataupun in terms of vector ij, benda dia sama saja. Jangan keliru Okay, so sin pi over 4 is actually equals to square root 2 over 2 cos pi over 4 sama ni. Square root 2 over 2. 2 square root 2 over 2. So you akan dapat negative square root 2 over square root 2. So this one will be similar. Negative 2 square root 2 over 2, which is negative 2 square root 2 over 2. So this one will be negative square root 2 and then negative square root 2. Okay, so yeah, I just substitute the formulas there. And then speed. Okay, again speed. Speed is the magnitude of velocity, which is speed at t equals to 5 over 4, which is the velocity at t equals to 5 over 4. Mana tadi 5 over 4? Square root 2 squared plus square root 2 squared lagi. Square root, banyak square root ni. So ni boleh mati 4 tambah 2 tambah 2, 4 kuasa 4 macam kuasa 4 lah, 2. Okay, the answer is 2. Alright, let's go into question number 2. Use the given information to find the position and velocity vector of the particle. Okay, so position and velocity, kita bagi A, dia bagi A sekarang ni. Maksudnya dia nak cari V dan cari R. So bila nak cari V, cari R daripada A, so kita kena guna integration. We have to use integration lah. So let's look into 2A, which is the A is equals to negative 2 plus P, negative 2 sin P. And then V0 equals to I, R0 equals to negative J. This is what we call the initial value problem. Okay, initial value problem. So to find V, we have to differentiate A, integrate A, so we integrate the negative 2 cos t and negative 2 sin t, which will give us okay, integrate cos will be sine, so negative 2 sin t. Integrate sine will be negative cos, so negative negative positive 2 cos t. Okay, you don't have to plus c because this is initial value problem. Plus c1 plus c2 plus c1 and then the 2 sin t plus c2. Okay, and then we have to find the value of c1 and c2 using this v naught. So v naught is equals to negative 2 sin 0 plus c1. Kenapa dua-dua sin ni? Okay, satu lagi ni cos. And then 2 cos 0 plus c2. Which is, kita dapat c1 cos 0 is equals to 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 plus c2, which is, this one equals to what? 2i. So, 2, 0. Okay, because 2i lah ni. So, equals to 2, 0. So, this one should be equals to this one. And then, j should be equals to j. Okay, so C1 is equals to 2, and then the C2 is equals to what? Negative 2. So your V, masukkan balik C1, C2 tu. Negative 2 sin T plus 2 for C1, and then 2 cos T minus 2 for CJ. And then to find the R, okay, we have to integrate V pula lagi sekali. So integrate V maksudnya integrate atas ni lah. Negative 2 sin. Kita integrate terus lah malah nak nyalin. Okay, so integrate sign will be negative cos. So negative will be positive. So 2 cos t plus 2t plus c1 lagi sekali. Okay, the integrate cos will be sin. So 2 sin t minus 2t plus c2. Alright, so R0 is negative j. Maksudnya masukkan 2 cos 0 plus 2 times 0 plus c1. And then 2 sin 0 minus 2, 0 plus c2. And everything is equals to j only, a negative j, which is 0, negative 1. Okay. What is 0 negative 1 tu? Itu adalah j, itulah negative j maksudnya. Okay. Okay, so calculate 2 cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So 1 times 0 is 0. 1 plus c1. And then the other one sin 0 is 0. 0 plus c2 is equals to 0 negative 1. So sekali lagi samakan depan dengan depan, belakang dengan belakang. So akan dapat c1 is equals to negative 1. And c2 equals to negative 1. So your final answer RT is equals to 2 cos t plus 2t minus 1. Okay, c1 tu jadi negatif 1, so masukkan. And then 2 sin t minus 2t minus 1. Okay, so silap, cuma 2. 2 tambah 1, 2. 2, so this one should be negative 2, this one should be negative 2. Plus 3, cos 1. Okay. Untuk nombor 3, Question number 2 is the same as question number 1 lah. Okay, you find the velocity, acceleration, and speed of particle. So it is similar to question number 1. So to find V, you have to differentiate R. So R prime sama dengan V. And then to find A, you have to differentiate V pula. So V prime equals to A. V prime tu sama lah juga dengan R double prime. Okay. Question nombor 3 tu saya tak buat sama seperti soalan nombor 1. Soalan nombor 4 tu sama juga. Sama dengan soalan nombor 2 tadi. This one. Okay. Find the velocity and position vector. So actually 2.4 ni itu sajalah yang dia tanya. Either it asks you to find V given V and A given R, or find V and R given A. So sama ada awak kena differentiate atau awak kena integrate. Okay, that is for 2.4. And then question number 5. Okay, this is different. Question number 5, there's a formula for it. It is scalar, tangential, and normal components. Okay, scalar, tangential, and normal components. Okay, scalar, tangential, and unit tangent is different. Okay. Dia student biasa nampak dia macam tangent-tangent dia ingat sama. So it's different actually. So this is AT. Okay. But then the unit tangent tadi, unit tangent yang kita tengok 2.3 tadi is the T besar lah, T besar tu. So it's different. And then the normal component tu sama. Normal component, sebab dia normal, dia bukan yang N besar tu. Normal component is AN. Okay, but then the unit normal, then the N besar tu. Okay, difference Okay, so the question number 5 actually asks you to find the AT and AN. So AT and AN ni dia ada formula ni sendiri. Formula dia is based on the velocity and acceleration as well. So the AT is equals to the velocity cross with acceleration divided by the magnitude of velocity. The AN is, since it's normal, so normally biasa dia akan cross product. So normal cross product is V cross A divided by magnitude of V. Okay, that's the formula for AT and AN. Okay, let's look into 5A. We have R equals to exponent Ti plus exponent Tj equals to 0. Okay, so V is equals to R prime, which is negative exponent T, and then exponent T, and then A is R double prime, which is exponent T, exponent T. Okay. Okay, so the AT is the product. So the product of R prime V dot A over V prime, which is negative exponent T dot with exponent T divided by negative exponent T squared plus exponent T squared. Okay, so you do the dot product. The first term you multiply with the first term of the other functions, and then the second term you multiply with the second terms. So akan dapat exponent negatif 2t tambah exponent 2t. Kurangkan dengan exponent 2t tambah exponent 2t. Okay, so the question asks you to calculate at t equals to 0. So masukkan je lah kosong. So negatif eksponen kosong tambah eksponen kosong per 2 darab kosong. 2 darab kosong ni kosong lah. Actually atas ni kosong. Bawah ni pun kosong. So dapat itu 1 tambah kosong, kosong. AN is the V cross. Okay, kita cari V cross dulu. So V cross A will be I, J, and K. Kita di I kan. Negative exponent to exponent to. Kosong I, kosong J, negative exponent, negative T, tambah T. Tolak exponent negative T tambah T. Exponent kosong, so exponent kosong is equal to 1. So negative 2. Okay. So the AN is equals to negative B cos A, B cos A over negative B. This one sama dengan 1. Exponent kosong sama 1. Tapi still kosong aja kan. Okay, which equals to 2 exponent of 2. Alright. So negative 2 square root over 2 exponent to T. Exponent to T square root. Okay, so this is for AN. And then again, AN 0 will be 2 times 2. Exponent 0 is 1, so 2 times 1 squared. Which is 2 over square root 2. So is equals to square root 2 juga lah ni. And then the kappa 0. Kappa is V cross A. The formulas for kappa is for V cross A over V to the power 3. So V cross A sudah ada, which is 2. V cross is 2 times 1 square root, but now the power of 3. So 2 ke, so you may simplify lah kalau boleh simplify. Sampai sini kan boleh. Saya sama dengan 7071. Nak letak dalam perpuluhan pun boleh, tak masalah. So this will be 1.4142. Okay. So you may do 5B and 5C, just using the formula of scalar tangential and scalar component. Okay, so that's it for chapter 2 and 2.4, from 2.3 and 2.4 as we look today.